Time to get the second race of the weekend underway here in the F1000 Championship at Snetterton. This second race, the BTCC East Anglia Centre is awarding the Henry Rillet Memorial Trophy to the winner of this reverse grid race. And of course, reverse grid means a topsy-turvy starting order. Dan Levy, invitational winner from yesterday, he will be starting from pole position. Second on the grid is going to be the 11 of Elliott Mitchell, and he will want a really strong start from that outside line. He could get the switch across through Riches and take the lead early doors. Then we've got Dax Ward, third position. He's going to be one to watch off the line as well. He can be really fast on the straight and narrow. And then we've got in fourth position on the grid, Alok Iyengar, returning to the series in 2018. Hopefully, it's going to be a really good battle between those two rows. But let's not forget that we've also got the likes of Walker, Clowes, Sayell, and of course our championship leader and dominant streak so far, Michael Watton, from 8th on the grid. This is going to be a cracker. Over to Andy McEwen.
Thanks very much. Yeah, it's very rare that we get a dual reverse grid race, and we've got all of our quick drivers starting towards the back for one reason or another. Dan Levy and Elliott Mitchell, though, as mentioned, are on the front row together ahead of Dax Ward and Alok Iyengar. Adam Walker and Dan Clowes next, then Rob Sayell and Michael Watton, the two most recent champions of the series. Then Rob Bailey and Andrew Wheels. Paul Butcher, the other one to watch for from the 6th row of the grid, alongside Peter Lague at the tail end. But Butcher, his gearbox separated from the engine in yesterday's first race. They've done an overnight engine change on the car. Hopefully everything will be ready and good to go for him to move up the order. Red lights are on. Oh, bit of creeping there from Mitchell and from Levi from the front row of the grid. It was a long hold though. Away we go, and look at the rocket ship start from Dan Clowes. He's third already, and he could even be second up the inside of Elliott Mitchell down towards the first corner. Yes, he is. Phenomenal stuff there from Dan Clowes, who goes from 6th on the grid to 2nd by turn number 1. Brilliant stuff. He did a similar start at the start of the reverse grid race at Brands Hatch last time out, I seem to remember. Although Mitchell, look at that, Mitchell has fought back up the inside, and that means that the other fast starter, Rob Sayell, from 7th on the grid, he's now alongside for 3rd on the run out of the hairpin and down towards Williams. Well, it's always a very frenetic start to the race with the reverse grid encounter. There's Michael Watton just in front of Dax Ward by the looks of it, and possibly behind Adam Walker as they drop down towards Agostini. It's still Levi that leads the way though. Mitchell 2nd, Clowes 3rd. Round the outside is going Sayell though. Then it's the Walker, Watton and Dax Ward battle, and there Paul Butcher already up ahead of Alok Iyengar, on board with Dax Ward. In front of us on the left hand side, Michael Watton. On the right is Adam Walker, and Watton goes through on the inside. Walker runs wide, therefore Ward will try and take advantage, and does take advantage with a really nice move up the inside at Oggies. Good stuff there, read the situation in front of him perfectly, saw that Walker was offline, had dirt on his tyres, wouldn't be that confident on the brakes, and took the chance to go up the inside. Out of Williams they go, down the back straight for the first time of asking, and still Dan Levi's leading the race. But a great start to the race this for him, but he is now the man punching the hole in the air, and here they come, they're going to go either side of him. Up the inside is Clowes, on the outside is Walker, and Walker takes the race lead, but fair play to Dan Levy, because he says, oh no you don't, Dan Clowes, I know that you're one of the championship contenders, but I'm going to do my very best to keep you behind, and that's exactly what he did. So through into the race lead goes Elliott Mitchell. 2nd place though still Levi, and 3rd for a frustrated, no doubt, Dan Clowes, because after that storming start he'd have probably been expecting to lead the race at the end of lap 1, and here he is still struggling to find a way past Levi. Can't do it there, goes to the outside at Murray's, trying to make the move stick, and may actually end up losing out here, because alongside him now is going to be Robert Sayell as they go down the back straight. On board with Clowes, up in front of us there is Levi. We're going back to the inside in towards Riches, and this time he might have done it, and they're all coming through. Michael Watton comes up the inside, Sayell goes with him as well, but Watton gains 2 places out of all of that and immediately latches onto the tail of Clowes on the run down towards the Wilson hairpin for the 2nd time. Wow, what a breathless start to the race this has been. Paul Butcher there actually now losing places. He's got Adam Walker up the inside of him, down towards Wilson. That's the little group there. Up the inside is Butcher. On the outside is Dax Ward as well. All getting very busy indeed. Through the left-hander, Alok Iyengar there, the blue car. He's been really shuffled down the order as a result of all of this. Up the inside there goes Rob Sayell on Michael Watton. Now, this is the fight that we wanted to see. The 2 most recent champions of the series going wheel to wheel. Oh, but for Paul Butcher, it's really not going well, is it? Retirement in race 1 and a spin here early on in race 2 sends him right back to the grid, back to the back of the grid. All that hard work in the first lap or so undone in 1 instant. Right, on board with Dax Ward. That is the impressive starter, Dan Levy, in front of us, who is still running there in 5th position. But Dax Ward will look to try and get the slipstream down the back straight here and attack down into where Brundle and Nelson. You can see there visibly that slipstream effect allowing him to close in. He pulls to the left hand side, but look, as soon as you pull out you sort of hit that wall of air and you no longer have that rush of momentum, but he does have enough to get the job done. And so down to 6th position now goes Dan Levy, up into 5th for Dax Ward, looking to try and improve on his 6th place in race 1, which if he can finish where he is now he will do. Back through the bomb hole they go up towards Coram. And Dax Ward making the move stick quite nicely there. Only in his 3rd season of F1000 racing is Dax. Doing well here at Snetterton. Then we have Adam Walker and Alok Iyengar, 2 drivers who really you would have expected to have taken advantage of the reverse grid here. But Walker was 5th on the grid, Alok was 4th, and they both just sort of got muscled out at the start. And they're now going to go either side of Dan Levy looking to turn 1. Around the outside goes Walker, up the inside goes Iyengar. And really, for Levy, running in the Sonic Invitation Cup, no real need for him to get too involved with these drivers. He had his chance to try and fight for the race lead. Now just needs to take it easy, although no one's told him that because he's gone back up the inside of Iyengar there in towards Wilson. You can see the reason that it runs in the invitational class. That's for cars that don't conform quite to the general championship regulations, as Iyengar goes back through there. Very close stuff at Palmer's, but that car running with a big rear diffuser, which in theory should give him extra downforce at the back, but that possibly will be hurting his straight line and speed. Iyengar sideways again there into Agostini. That's the corner where he spun on the last lap of race 1. Back with Dan Clowes, and that is the race leader up here in front of us, Elliott Mitchell. So it's taken Clowes longer than expected, but he has now latched onto the tail of the race leader. We make our way out of Williams again, but look, Michael Watton is there with him. Fair to say though that Watton is not having it as easy here at Snetterton as he had last time out at Brands Hatch, where he was already into 2nd place by this point of the reverse grid race and he was about to make his move on Adam Walker. Well, here he's in 3rd and he's got Dan Clowes, much more experienced driver in Dan Clowes, in front of him, and so Watton is not going to have an easy time of this. What he'll be hoping is that Mitchell holds Clowes up and maybe gives him an opportunity to take 2nd place before Clowes can take the lead away from Mitchell and start pulling away. At the moment that's what's happening, look, because it's definitely closer between 2nd and 3rd than it is between 1st and 2nd. I thought for a moment there Watton was going to have a little look up the inside into Murray's. It didn't quite work. So he tucks into the slipstream, down the pit straight again, flashing across the start-finish line. There will go Mitchell, then Clowes, Watton, and then 4th place for Rob Sayell. But of course, as the top 3 start falling over each other, Sayell's only going to get closer to them. Back out of Riches they go, and there goes Watton looking to the inside. No, covered nicely there by Clowes. But you can see the problem here for Dan, because now he's not just able to concentrate on attacking for the race lead, he's having to defend this 2nd place, and he's spending more time looking in the mirrors than he is looking out in front of him. That's allowing Elliott Mitchell to hold on to a reasonably comfortable lead. So it's not a mammoth gap between the top 2, but it is a few car lengths, which is enough that Mitchell doesn't really feel the need to defend into any of the braking zones for the time being. As soon as he starts doing that, then that will be the beginning of the end, you'd imagine, because eventually they're going to outfox him. But if he can avoid defending, there's always the chance he could hold them off. This, of course, is what we love about the reverse grid encounter, because it gives drivers like Mitchell the chance to fight for a race win legitimately. Sometimes when you qualify down in the midfield, you just can't find your way through the order. We're seeing that with the likes of Butcher and Iyengar and Adam Walker in this one. Bad starts have put them towards the back of the field, and they're not really being able to just breeze past everybody. But if you give one of those drivers the chance to start at the front, they have every opportunity to hang on to win. Really hanging on there down in towards Brundle that time, because it did look as though Clowes was going to get alongside. Not quite close enough though, so another lap and another chance gone for Clowes there to get himself through into the race lead. They're not really holding each other up sufficiently here for Sayell to close in though, as of yet, but if they start running side by side that could all change, especially if they start doing it through the infield section where it's all about momentum, one corner leading immediately onto another. This corner there at Murray's leads immediately onto the pit straight though, and it wasn't well executed by Dan Clowes. He loses the toe to the race leader, and right in his slipstream is Michael Watton, possibly even alongside as we rush down towards Riches. Yeah, look at that defensive line being taken by Clowes. Just runs down the middle of the road into the first corner. That'll compromise his exit speed a little bit. This is all music to the ears of Elliott Mitchell, the race leader. Down into Wilson, but then you can see how Clowes closes back in under braking. There is Paul Butcher. Now, that retirement at Brands Hatch last time out wasn't necessarily the end of the world, because you're allowed one dropped score over the course of the season. So essentially you can take one race and pretend it never happened. It doesn't count towards your eventual championship standings. But then he had another non-finish in race 1 here today, and he's had that spin at the start of race 2. So this is all going to have a real knock-on effect on Paul Butcher's championship hopes, unfortunately. Just in front of him, Adam Walker there, having a little look to the inside of Alok Iyengar, and they in turn are both chasing Dax Ward. But you'd imagine that Butcher will be looking to try and reel them in over the next few laps. Running out of time there. We're into the second half of this 15-minute race though, round number 5 of the Speed Group F1000 Championship. And here is the number 29 machine of Dax Ward, not making friends with the Apex and Oggies, but you can get away with taking a late Apex there. Oh no, that's gone wrong though. Too aggressive on the power and crunch straight into the Armco barrier. Fairly significant damage done, certainly the front wing will need replacing, possibly some suspension damage done as well. So Dax Ward unfortunately spins out of a top 6 position, and he will be frustrated with that. That held up Iyengar and Walker though, and so Paul Butcher is now a little bit closer to them as they make their way back through the bomb hole again. In towards the right-hander at Coram. How much time has Butcher got left? Has he got time to try and get past these two? He could really do with it, because the grid for race 3, that is based upon... actually, no, it's not based upon the result of this race. So Butcher, at the moment, is looking to start 5th on the grid for race 3. Memory serves, it's done off second fastest lap times from qualifying, so that will be a second chance for Butcher to start towards the front of the grid, and he'll really need to try and take the points from that one. On the brakes into Wilson, we're on board here with Adam Walker, and he's got Paul Butcher all over him now. So where does Paul make the move? There's no doubt he's quicker, but where can he find a way through? In towards the left-hander here, maybe at Palmer's. No, that's not really an overtaking opportunity. The next corner is at Agostini. Quite a stiff tailwind pushing the cars down into this corner though. That's why we've seen a few of them just losing the rear of the car under braking. We saw Butcher himself have a spin down here early on in this race. Whether there was contact involved, I'm not too sure, but Butcher not able to attack there, showing that maybe he doesn't quite have the confidence under the brakes that he would like. Down into the right-hander at Oggies, and it's all about getting the momentum through this corner, through the next long right-hander at Williams, and then trying to get in the toe down the back straight. Certainly had a tighter run through the corner there, did Butcher, but he's just not latching right onto the gearbox of Adam Walker's car, really, is he? He might be able to close down the straight, but probably not sufficiently to attack under braking. Let's see. Under the Snetterton bridge they go. Has a look to the inside, but again, that's really just to try and distract Walker in front. And by doing so, it compromises your line slightly through the corner. So on the exit of the complex sequence, Butcher is not close enough to attack. Back through Coram. And running out of laps now, unfortunately, is Paul Butcher. You can see that Walker is quite wayward through a fair few of these corners, so that will be giving a glimmer of hope maybe to Butcher that he might be able to make this move stick. But it is not going to be easy. Across the start-finish line they go. And he's closer this time into Riches. Now don't try and overtake here, Paul. Get a good exit and then try and slip up the inside, maybe in towards Wilson. That's what he's going to try and do, I think. Gets a good exit from the corner, but Walker saw it coming and defended the inside line heavily. Butcher tries to go right round the outside. That's not going to work. Then tries to cut back and get the run off the corner. That's not going to work either. And even if he had got alongside, the next corner, in fact the next 3 corners, are left-handers. So Adam Walker making it work for this, and it goes to show, doesn't it, that, I mean, Paul Butcher, multiple former race winner, can't just drive past some of the midfield runners. So whilst it's not the largest grid of race cars that you'll see anywhere, it's there's good strength in depth, and the drivers running through the midfield are more than capable of running quickly, and that's what we've seen from the likes of Elliott Mitchell up at the front of the field. Give them a decent grid position and a good start to the race, and most of these drivers are capable of winning and finishing on the podium. Very competitive indeed, and that means that I think that although Michael Watton has had this early season dominance, I don't think he's going to have it all his own way in terms of the championship as the year goes on. So back onto the Bentley straight they go. Butcher closing in here on Adam Walker. Now that is Michael Watton. What has happened to Watton? Yeah, Watton's fallen down the order here. He's almost into the clutches now. In fact, he's being overtaken, so there's dramas for the championship leader, dominant championship leader so far. Now, could this be a retirement? The smoke from the back of the car, look at that. That is the number 1 car of Michael Watton, and this is very rare indeed. It's rare that you see him run into mechanical issues. That car very well prepared indeed, but Michael could be heading for a retirement, and that could be disastrous because, as we mentioned, only 1 dropped score available. That will become his drop score shortly, so he can't afford any more slip-ups throughout the rest of the year. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, the battle for the lead is still going on, look, and this is Dan Clowes closing in on Elliott Mitchell. Elliott Mitchell leading the way here, and has done since the early stages. Can he hold on to take a sensational race victory? Car number 11 of Elliott Mitchell looking for what would be his first ever victory in the championship. Can he do it? He's never even had a podium, in fact, as Elliott, so regardless of what happens, as long as he doesn't throw it at the scenery on this last lap, he's on for his best ever finish in F1000 racing. But can he do it with a race victory? That would be quite remarkable. Dan Clowes will have something to say about that, though, and if he knows about Michael Watton running into difficulties, all of a sudden this race takes on extra significance for Clowes, because a race victory could go a long way to closing the gap at the front of the points. This is his best chance to do it. In the slipstream down the back straight, he's in the tow. You can see that Mitchell's driving down the left-hand side of the road, although that's because there's a car that they're about to put a lap down. Peter Lague, I think that was. On the brakes, no, Clowes not close enough, and in fact Mitchell is much quicker into this sequence of corners, and so I don't think Clowes is going to do it. Elliott Mitchell could be about to come home a race winner. Through the bomb hole they go, in towards the long right-hander at Corham, and with one more possible overtaking opportunity at Murray's, he won't have this plain sailing all the way, but I don't really think Clowes is close enough. Onto the brakes we go, through the left-hander, good exit, up through the gears, and yes, it's going to happen. Elliott Mitchell is going to come home and see the checkered flag first. A first ever race victory for Elliott Mitchell, a brilliant drive to win the reverse grid encounter here at Snetterton. Second is Dan Clowes, and third place will go the way of Rob Sayell. Well, drama post-race, as a 10-second penalty was given to Elliott Mitchell for being out of position at the start, meaning Clowes inherits the win from Sayell second. Mitchell still gets that first podium, though, ahead of Iyengar fourth and Adam Walker in fifth. Daniel Levy again wins the Sonic Invitation Cup. If he can finish the third race of the day later on and win the class, he will tie the class lead with David Wheels.
Dan, let's bring you in. Dan, you are the 2018 Henry Rillitt Memorial Trophy winner. How about that?
Again, I think I had that a couple of 3 years ago. Really pleased with that.
Well, talk us through that race. It was quite a battle.
It was quite a battle, yeah. It's in this early on, got a good start again. So yeah, okay, we're away here, and Dan Levy was doing a cracking job first lap, just backing everybody up, thinking this is turning into chaos. So managed to get past Dan, and so did Elliott, and Elliott was away. It's like, okay. And then see, Michael and Rob were pretty close by, and we seemed to, I'm not quite sure what happened to Michael. He seemed to disappear, but could see Rob when we were sneaking away from it, Elliott and I. Then I think I got a little bit lucky. Saw a board with Elliott's penalty, and I thought, no need to race him now, just sit here and sit in and follow him around. So gutted for him, because I'm not sure I could have passed him, but yeah, really enjoyed the win.
Well, brilliant stuff. Go get on that podium and enjoy it.
Thank you very much.
Well, Rob, another second place in terms of the Circuit Championship. That's a really, really good result.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that. So, yeah, you're right. Yeah, we're doing okay. Like I said to you guys earlier, the start was the key from the reverse grid. I did make a few up, which I was happy about. And then I was following Michael, and I believe his coolant come out of the car. So I was the first man to catch that, which made a few tricky corners for me. Dropped back off the leading guys. Then, yeah, it was just hard to push to catch him back up again.
So surely now for the third race, you're going to want to push for a win and get 3 different winners out of the weekend.
I believe we're starting on pole. We got the quickest lap in that race, so got as good a chance as any, haven't we? So.
Fantastic. Well, hopefully it's a good end to the weekend. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, Dan, another Invitational Cup victory, but talk us through what it's like to be on the pole position on a reverse grid when you've got everyone swarming around you.
Pretty nerve-wracking, considering yesterday my pace was not good, really. So I thought, you just got to keep it together, really. You know, they're going to come at some point. You just got to hold them back and defend your position, and that's what I did. So I kept them off as much as I could. There was a train of them at one point. I think it was about the end of the third lap or something, and one came, and I thought I've got to give that little bit. You know, they were literally nose to tail. I think about 5 of them, but it was great. It was, you know, wasn't far off the pace. They were faster on the straight, so at some point it was going to happen. But it was good fun. Really enjoyed the reverse grid.